Hello, hello, hello. I am live. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. And I hope you can feel my vibe. So my vibe today is a very quirky vibe. So YouTube channel, in which case you already know where it is. But if you don't, it's at Jenny Kovacs, spelt exactly how it's spelt there. I'm squinting because I haven't got my glasses on. The other place you might be watching this is on LinkedIn. And some of you might be thinking, what on earth's going on there? How is she streaming live on LinkedIn from what looks like a car? Yes, it is a car, and I'm going to come on to that in a moment. And for the rest of you, you might be watching from my Facebook page, which is the Queen of Being Seen. Of course, Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen. So even if you have just managed to catch a snippet of this shooting across your timeline, like me, you're nosy by nature and quite curious as to what on earth she's talking about, but I'm busy right now and I can't get into this right now, then go back to any of those places and rewatch this, because I'm using a stand, which of course in a car, there's no flat surface for me to balance this, because the other tool that I teach people to use, I've left at home, and expects a little bit of a wobble because I'm literally holding the stand so it doesn't wobble. And if you hear a weird click, I'm accidentally locking myself in the car and unlocking myself again. So let's speak to the elephant in the room. Why, Jenny, when you are showing up professionally on camera, are you live streaming from a car? Why, oh, why, oh, why? Well, I had an early start this morning, and I'd intended to go to a very well-known home chain. You can see in the background there, pick up some stuff and come back. But those people at IKEA are very clever. You know, there's a lot of super really cool stuff they use. So although I know that I don't have to follow the arrows, which these days are now lit so they can kind of change the direction, even though I know I don't have to follow the arrows and I can take shortcuts, I bought a few more things than I intended to and browsed a bit longer than I intended to. So when I realised I wouldn't be able to make the journey home to stream live to you, I made a decision. What am I going to do? I promised you a trilogy, which is 3. This is the 3rd video of the 3. I promised you that I would stream from the car, but why? Why did I do this? Well, this week specifically, I've been talking about creating content, putting yourself out there, and ways that people can learn from you. And one of the biggest ways that many of my either students that have done my courses, clients that have worked with me, people that know me, my peers, tell me that they learn from me is they watch what I do. I am kind of wired to talk about elements, a lot of elements of what I do. But also, if you watch carefully and watch closely, you'll learn a lot about me, because everything I do is done purposefully. And one of the things that I didn't want to do today was to send a message or put a message out on social media to say, oh, I'm not going to show up. But why? Well, I told you in yesterday's video and this video that I would cover 3 things. And the first thing I was going to cover is what I call next steps. So if you've been catching these live or on the replay, I'm going to try and stop wobbling. Let me rest my hand on the gear stick. That's better. If you have been watching these and you have heard what I've been talking about being seen and being heard, and you are either a business owner, a freelancer, a company founder or co-founder, a CEO, somebody with an entrepreneurial mind, team or spirit, and also for those of you sales managers, because I speak to a lot of sales directors, sales managers, and whilst you're great at the strategy, and some might argue with that because you're very good at thinking on your feet. Whilst you're great at the strategy of sales, you want your salespeople to be as high performing as possible, because it's what kind of balances up the business. So what I've done is, on this trilogy, I've drawn all of these elements together to help all of those people that I've mentioned, and some that I might not have mentioned, to know how to be seen, to know how to be heard, to know how to be visible. So one of the things that's coming up, and I'll have this as an announcement to kind of get it out of the way so that I can share the nuggets that I've intended to share with you, is I talk a lot about being confident on camera. Now imagine this. You've had your makeup done, you've had your hair done, you've had your face patted down to stop all the greasy marks. I noticed my nose is nearly as red as my hair for some reason, not quite sure why that is. But you've got ready and you've been prepared to do a video. Maybe there's some information that you want to share. Maybe it's a little peek behind the scenes. Maybe it's an education type of thing, which a lot of my freelancers, you know, think web designers, techie people, VAs, you know, in recent months and weeks, actually, I think there have been some of the clients that I've had, they've been a little bit diverse, have been counsellors, coaches, of course, and somebody who's created a system to help you turn your revenue around in your business. Like, how cool is that? And what I'm saying is that anytime, any chance is an opportunity for us to share our work, share what we do. So confidence on camera is designed not only to give you confidence on camera, but also to give you the confidence too. So when you come out of IKEA and you have bought a bit more than you should, and you haven't actually been to the restaurant yet and had something to eat, and you have scheduled yourself to go live and share some snippets with your audience online. You know, and yesterday we had somebody tuning from Malaysia live. We had people tuning from the UK. We've had people tuning afterwards from all sorts of different places too. But when you have made a promise to do that, one of my ammos, if you like, is that I keep those promises. So if I say I'm going to come live, I'm going to come live. And I'm able to do that because of some of the things that I share with you on Confidence on Camera. Now, many of you, and be honest with yourself, ask yourself the question, how many of you would have come out of maybe a supermarket, come out of a shopping centre, been with friends, known that you had to do a video and have said to yourself, do you know what? I'm going to wait until I get home. Or, oh, I can't go live. I haven't got my hair done. I don't look right. I don't feel great, or any of those sorts of things. Confidence on camera is designed for this. So let me just quickly tell you what it is, and then I'm going to come on to tell you how you create really great connection and rapport, and more importantly, how people learn from you, which I kind of geek out on a bit as a previous learning and development manager, previous training manager, national training manager for that, and somebody that really loves adults to love learning things so they can be the best versions of themselves and to put themselves out there. So if you are watching, do say hello, do comment below, and if I can't say hello to you live, I will definitely come back and say hello to you after I've driven home, or maybe while I go and have something nice to eat in there. So Confidence on Camera, it's an online, I want to say an online experience, but essentially, if you've heard of 5-day challenges, or you've heard of online challenges, it's set in a similar structure to that, but it runs for 12 days. Now, it's not free. Hey, Chantal, it's not a free thing. However, I've made it a very easy to say yes to. And the reason for that is there might be times just like this when you're out and about or on the go and you need to not just create a video, but stream and speak to people. So I can speak to somebody anywhere in the world, even though I'm sat in my car. I can share tips with you, even though I'm sat in my car. But many people get stuck on, well, what is it that I say? How do I set up the technology? Well, actually, this is no tech. This is no scripts. And this is, and I'm doing that and I'm getting thumbs up on the screens now. No tech, no scripts, and doing it in one take. So on these 12 days, it means that in a matter of minutes, you get something to talk about on that day. You get a little tip on how to enhance your video game. And you also get the opportunity to stream into a group, which on this occasion is being hosted over on Facebook. So you get the opportunity to see the incremental improvements in a very short space of time. So if you are a business owner, if you are responsible for the sales, marketing and visibility, and maybe even the PR of your business, do this. Okay, so if you want to find out a little bit more, you'll see posts around here apart from on YouTube. Just send me a message, just send me the word video or Confidence on Camera if you want to type that much, and I'll send you more details. but we go through 12 days, and you're able to join at the standard rate, or you're able to join and go VIP, which means I watch all 12 of your videos and give you video feedback on those 12 videos, and you get a content creation call with me. So if you're like, yeah, that works for you, Jenny, but that's because you do X, Y, Z, but you want to know, well, how can I create some content? Then go VIP. As well as all of that, throughout the 12 days, you get a Q&A, a group Q&A call, which is a Q&A mentoring and coaching call, which means that if you find that you're getting stuck on something or being challenged by something, I can scoop you up as we go through the process, rather than making you wait for the whole 12 days. And then that way you feel like you're behind or need to catch up. Okay, so if you do want to know any more about confidence on camera, it starts on Monday, May the 13th. You've still got a bit of time. But if you book before the 7th, you get access to leveraging live streams. And I'll teach you all the kind of tips and tricks of being able to engage live, not being put off when people speak or comment or say things, being able to answer questions on the fly. And that will be included if you book it before the 7th of May. So all of that to say, a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to make sure that these live streams, now I'm not sure why I've got those. I just had some balloons on there. I'm not sure if you're seeing that too, but maybe I did something, said something, and I celebrated you and it went shh. Who knows? So here's a couple of things that I wanted to share, and I want to keep this live stream to around 20 minutes or less if I can, even though I'm sat in my car, even though I'm streaming to you live, even though I keep looking down. I've written 3 bullet points so that I remember what to say. So creating the best content. Sometimes people watch what I do, see what I say, hear what I share out there online, and they think to themselves, I like that Jenny just did that. I'm going to do that too. And here's a reason why that doesn't always work for you. It might not always work for you because your people are different. Your audience are different. So, for example, Chantel, I know, has a really great business. Have a look at her headline on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if I can put it on the screen. Oh yes, there I go. So that's Chantel there. You can see her name and you'll be able to connect with her on LinkedIn. Okay, so I'll take that back off the screen. So every day is a school day, isn't it? I learned that I could do something in a different way. So that's cool. So if you have watched any of the previous kind of mini trilogies, then do have a look at yesterday's. But I talk a lot about audience, business, and credibility. The credibility is built by showing up consistently, and one of those ways is video. But the credibility is also built by demonstrating to your audience that you understand where they are. So if I have a travel business and I'm looking to help my clients book great experiences, there's no point you doing exactly what I do because it's not going to serve you or your audience as much. But the framework, which is taken from the Visibility Vibe system, which I created way back in 2010, helps you to follow some steps so that you can do your thing in your way and show up authentically, whether it's by what you say from a page and write from a page, what you say from a stage, or what you share on a screen like this. And this is really, really important. So creating the best content for your audience means that you need to think for a quick minute about who your audience are. And when I say audience, your audience might be the people in your organization around you. And often people that I speak to are them. I've spoken recently to people who are looking at enhancing their careers. So their audience are the people who are interviewing them. Or if they're already within the organization, their audience are their people around them who are kind of watching to see whether they would make great candidates to be, to be internally promoted or not. So being really clear on who is in your audience is important. And for some of you, you have more than one type of audience. Or more than one type of person in your audience. So being clear on that is super important. Once you have established that, your content will resonate with them because you'll start speaking to them in a way that they get, a way that they understand, so that you can be seen, and more than anything, your work can be seen. What you do can be seen. What you bring to the table can be seen, but also so that people hear it. And as one of my old mentors said, it is a bit like a dog whistle. You blow the whistle and dogs hear it. And that's not to say that your audience or your potential clients or ideal clients are dogs. It's to say that they pick up what you're putting down. It's to say that when you share stuff, they completely understand it. It resonates with them and they get it. But how do you do that when you're looking at lots of different people throughout lots of different audiences? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to start by sharing a very brief example of how this played out for me many moons ago as an employed learning and development manager. So I was tasked with running a sales academy, and this sales academy had a process. So only the best, but everyone applied, but only the best people that actually got into the sales academy could be part of that academy. So my job was to have people that had either just started in sales or were aspiring to be even better in sales, to be the very best that they could be. And one of the things that I noticed very quickly was that there was a synergy between people's learning styles and not only how they received information and how they best shared information, but also how they communicated with people around them. And if you think about it, this could add pressure as a salesperson. And this is very much why I go through some of the steps I do on Confidence on Camera. As a salesperson, you are either selling a product or selling a service or selling a concept, selling an idea, selling a message, and sometimes you're selling yourself. Okay, so one of the synergies or the things that connects everything and kind of like the golden thread, if you like, that connects all of those things together is knowing how to talk about the thing that you do or the thing that you want to share. And what I found was different people had different styles, and knowing how they could adapt those styles depending on the levels of pressure. What do I mean by that? For me to sit here in the car and talk to you about this kind of stuff is actually quite low pressure for me. But the thought of doing this thing, for somebody else might be different. Sometimes it's the people. So for some of the people within that sales academy, if somebody was very senior, director level, it would add a bit of pressure to perform, pressure to be able to articulate themselves, pressure to be able to do the thing. For some people, it was the mere experience of going through like an interview process that adds the pressure or turns the pressure up. For others, it was, well, I can speak to people in my office about it, but how can I speak to my peers about it? Because they might know more than me. And for others, the other thing that put a bit of pressure was speaking to their potential prospects. So that's the piece I want to pull out for you, because for many of you, you are aware that whether you're sharing online, posting on social media, speaking from a stage, eyeball to eyeball, or you're sharing something on a screen, like a video, like your webinars, like a Teams meeting, like a pitch, like an online conversation that you've got, that thing for you will add the pressure. So Confidence on Camera really helps with that. And I actually, I'm going to say very cleverly, because I do it in a very clever way. I don't say day one, tell us about your business. Day two, tell us about, what you're selling, because that isn't the best way to elicit that from you. So what was it I shared about people learning from you and learning styles that is able to help you? So one of the things to know about in these learning styles, Honey and Mumford learning styles, to quote the originator of this piece, I noticed there were 4 elements, 4 parts, if you like, that they focused on. One of them was for those people who just want to jump in. They're kind of like, I just want to get it out of the way. I just want to get on with it. I just kind of want to get it over and done with. So those people were catered for. Other people that were catered for, the people that were like, I like this, I need to think about how I'm going to do this, how it's going to work for me, how it's going to work for my clients, how it's going to work for my business. Give me a moment to think. The fourth element are for those people that are very pragmatic and they're like, this sounds good, it makes sense, I want to test it in action. And the fourth part of it are for those people that are like, this is very interesting, Jenny. You mentioned Honey in Montford. I'm going to have a look online and do the research myself. Look at the theory, look at the science, look at the data, look at the numbers. So we usually have a preference in style. So for example, for my clients who work in the IT kind of industry, or security, or that way wired, want cold hard evidence. And when they present, they're likely to present facts, figures, numbers. It's not to say that they always do, but this might be the style that they go for. So a way to share content in a way that resonates with your people, when you know exactly who your people are, who you're speaking to, what kind of kind of business relationship or business rapport you want with them, and how to demonstrate your credibility. Your job is to make sure that you hit all of those 4 learning styles. And in the sales academy that I ran, what we realized was that if I could help the delegates understand when they met somebody which might be their preference, they could almost switch the way they communicated, switch the way they conversed into one of those styles, so that they were able to be understood. So when I talk about visibility as in being seen, being heard, and being visible, that's be or being visible. When I talked about it in that way, then people could adapt their communication style to make sure they're understood. This is a really important part of visibility that people forget. They think, no, I'm going to be an influencer. I'm going to shout the loudest. I'm going to be disruptive because that's what's going to cut through the noise. But actually, your ability to be flexible in your communication styles is really what helps your content to really stand out. So I'm going to do another little trilogy next week. And then after next week, I'll probably do them once every couple of weeks. Because the week after that, of course, we'll be in the confidence on camera phase. But if you or somebody you know has a business, you're responsible for looking at how you position the sales, the marketing, the visibility of all of that, and you want to be able to do it in a way that's one to more than one person, so one to many people, and you want to get even better and build on what you do, and you might want to have the confidence to sit and do the whole thing from your car or from a park or somewhere else that's not the norm, then send me a message or type the word video onto this. I'll send you more information about what confidence on camera entails. And then you can have a look and decide whether it's something that you would like to do. And if that's the case, I'll also send you the links as well. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people have gone through it. In fact, thousands of people over the years have gone through it. And I've taught this in organizations. And one of the things that a lot of my entrepreneurial type people say is, once they've gone through it, they're like, oh my gosh, the value that you give in this is off the charts. And in recognition of that, and in recognition of what it takes to keep that all up to date, to host everything, the price of confidence on camera will be going up and changing, and will be totally worth it as well. So if you want to get into this round, act quickly. Even if you're not sure, if you've got questions and you don't know, send me a message and I will send an answer to you. So if you're on Facebook, go over to The Queen of Being Seen, or Jenny Kovacs, The Queen of Being Seen, easily found by typing in @Visibility Vibe. You can send me a private message there and I'll be able to respond to you. I won't be taking phone calls about this because it is a really kind of easy to say yes to course. But one of the things that people sometimes say is, I get that the group environment is better, but I'd rather do it privately with you. And if that's the case, then we need to discuss whether that's the right thing for you to do. Okay, so if you've ever paused wanted to do a video and paused on the idea, made the video and kept it on your phone or your computer for a gazillion years and it's never seen the light of day. Or you've said to yourself, yes, I'm going to make a video, but somehow paused or stopped, then you'll definitely want to get involved in the next round of Confidence on Camera. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.